Whoa, it's the Lithanol Guide. No, it's just Macronos with the Arrakeen Residency from both parts of Denis Villeneuve's adaptation of Dune. So I wanted to give a little bit of background here in this video on myself. And I discovered science fiction as a genre a little bit later in life, right when I started high school, thanks to Star Wars The Force Awakens visual dictionary that was in my school's book fair, and ever since I've been a big fan. So Star Wars these days isn't looking so good, but Dune certainly taken its place as the new king of science fiction and cinema. Now, I've always been drawn to architecture, but I really discovered my passion for it during the pandemic as I spent ungodly amounts of time on Google Maps due to school being online and frankly a little boring. But it was really cool discovering places, the context in which they're in, and the historical importance, right, of these locations. Now, as for Dune, I do follow Hollywood news and Hollywood Twitters, and I was very interested in this movie since the beginning, but it came at a very special time in my life where it was the first time I had been back to a movie theater physically since the start of the pandemic, and I went with my family, and we were immediately blown away by this movie after a long period of mid-Hollywood movies. So to say I was excited for part 2 is an understatement. Now, there's many things about this Dune adaptation that it gets right, but I will want to highlight how all the architecture, the characters, and the worlds are all linked, right? There's a very deep context between them, and there's they all communicate, right? They all inform different parts of the story. And if you're gonna be building on Arrakeen, the desert planet where the spice is harvested, you need to take into consideration things such as the lack of water, extreme temperatures, sandstorms, and the giant worms, the almighty Shai-Hulud. Therefore, in order to design the capital city of Arrakeen, the team behind the movie looked to inspirations such as World War II German bunkers and termite mounds. And that would mean that the population mostly live underground with no exposed areas, but still with important ventilation. However, this theme is continued but enhanced by the Residency, where the current occupiers of this planet live, like the royal family and the government. So this needed to be strong and imposing, but not ostentatious like a royal luxurious palace. So in order to fit this approach, the team looked at ancient ziggurats from the Middle East and Mesoamerican pyramids to make sure it still had that importance. As for me, the building was a lot of trial and error, as the design is both unnervingly simple but also complex. So for me, it was more important to make sure to fit the aesthetic by being perfectionist. Hence why there are special gaps that maybe could be bunkers under the pyramid, or why I broke up the slope with smaller 1x1 slopes added vertically. And overall, it was one of my favorite builds thus far. So in the end, I highly recommend you guys buy the art books for these two movies and do some research on YouTube by simply typing Dune architecture, because others go much more depth than I have. And the second video for March will be to mark the 4-year release of a video game that changed my life. So look forward to that, and long live the fighters.